I know, right? Spilled it a little bit.
That's all good.
God damn, it's all good that I'm wearing black. If I had a white tee, I'd be cooked, bro. Right? Just throw the whole t-shirt away. That thing ain't coming out, man.
Thanks for being here, man. I genuinely appreciate it. You're one of the very few people that I know that I can always call on, and you'll show up. So I want to give you your flowers. There's more flowers to give throughout our little conversation today, bro.
I appreciate you, dude, for real.
A lot more flowers to give, but before we get into anything else, really, I would like you to just start off with telling the people who you are.
All right. Well, how's it going, guys? My name's Kenan Eames. I'm a model, actor, entrepreneur, artist. Been living in LA for over, God, who knows, 10, 12 years, but I'm originally from San Diego, California. Just local, homegrown Southern Cali kid, Filipino, Mexican roots. So just trying to do the culture proud, do my family proud, do my community proud, and represent and, chase our dreams, man. Just blessed every day to be here and do what we love. So
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely. I think it's rare that I have any like friends or connections that have lasted outside of like college friends. So when I moved out here, I feel like I met you pretty early on in my career. And I feel like we probably moved out here around the same time. Mm-hmm. We shared that connection with, what was the guy's name?
Jonas Gafud. He was an agent out in the Philippines, Mercator Models.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Mercator. Haven't really worked with them yet. That connection, I definitely was a strong one. Like our roots connected us.
Yeah.
Our ambition to go back to the motherland and see if we could plant some seeds and create a career and a life that we dream of out there, So that was beautiful, actually. It was just through Instagram. I
think it was that, and then we met each other at a casting or something. We ran into each other, and then I don't know.
It was at Milk Studios. I remember.
It was.
Right
in Hollywood.
Yeah, I think it was for like was it Men's Warehouse? Or
probably.
Or I don't know, some suit company, because I remember we all came suited at some point. And I was like, I was like, yo, Theon! Like just off rip. I was like, hey, I know you. And it was just rare. I think this was like 2014, 2015?
Yes.
I was still living in San Diego at the time, I think.
Oh, word, okay.
I was commuting back and forth, just trying to, make ends meet. I was still kind of like baby stages of like, what does it take to really make it out here? So I was doing that commute. So I remember that was a good day, because I ended up just hanging out a little bit after the casting. For 10 minutes.
Did you go to school?
College? Yeah, I just did junior college.
Okay.
So I was actually trying to go out to University of Hawaii, play ball. Okay. I didn't really have the grades.
Football?
Yeah, football. Okay. First love, that's kind of like how I navigate my hard work, all that stuff through.
Sure.
It's like, that was the first passion as a kid.
Yeah.
That, music, dance, whatever. But yeah, I was just doing the JUCO route, kept getting injured, was just trying to figure out my path. And then, started working with my creative friends in my local city that had a camera, was enrolling in film school out in San Diego at the time.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, man, just through the passion of just, that team energy, I feel like sports and film sets are kind of similar in that sense, or any sort of a production set. So yeah, it was just that yearning to, be creative, tell a story, and collaborate was kind of like what started it. And then eventually, made a portfolio, and then made it out to LA. But before LA, it was Philippines. We were trying to do Philippines, New York at one point early on.
Oh, okay.
But you kind of navigate and see what doors are open and closing, and you just try to keep walking, keep taking steps every day towards your goal or your passion.
That was going to be one of my main questions, because I don't know if you had ever told me the story of how you got into modeling, or if that was something that you had always sort of intended on doing, but I didn't think so. Would you say you sort of fell into it, or was it just like...
Yeah, I would say it was definitely one of those things that you kind of fall into when, you keep trying to go the traditional route, follow school. I almost joined the military at one point when I was a kid, just because, growing up in a Filipino household, it's either you join the military or you go to school for like nursing or some sort of medical field. Those are like the two stereotypical routes you go. Wasn't really great in any sort of academic sense. I was always like a C+ student.
Okay.
My ADHD brain, just always hyperactive, just just wanted to be outside with my friends, play
For
sports,
sure.
right?
For sure.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where, you try to figure out school, you keep changing your major. You love storytelling, you love just being around a group of people with a common goal. And that's how I kind of fell in love with film first before modeling or anything, just because I loved the movies growing up. So modeling was just kind of like an afterthought. Growing up, we didn't really see people like us in campaigns, in the billboards and stores. It's always a certain type of look that they went for back in the day.
Sure.
But yeah, so I feel like we're kind of in that scope of, we kind of paved an early path and generally, and I feel like once social media hit, that's when I feel like people were more open to diversity, mixed race people, ethnically ambiguous people. I kind of just needed a job at the time, and I just enjoyed helping my friends, and I naturally had a portfolio just from posting photos on Instagram to help support my friends' brands. And then, yeah, man, I just used those photos and submitted to different agencies just because, I learned early on, like, wow, you can actually make money doing this stuff. I didn't really know what a headshot was. I didn't really understand how to.
I was going to ask, how steep was your learning curve? Well, because some people I feel like can sort of just, they fall into it and it's like a natural sort of progression. And some people like hit it hard and it's just like, what have I got myself into? You know what I mean? How would you say you sort of transitioned into the industry?
Man, it's definitely one of those things where it's a lot of trial and error, but I just kept the passion strong and just the desire to be of service to people I cared about. I feel like it's what kind of scratched my back and I scratched theirs, because I would always come with an extra look, just be like, hey, yo, can we shoot in this look? I really am trying to build my portfolio, and I want to help your brand, and I know you're up and coming, so I'll definitely do you a solid. But can you do me a solid and shoot me in this button up real quick?
Absolutely, yeah.
And then they're like, out of love, like, yeah, sure, let's do that.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know what that was. Like for trade, I just wanted to help somebody, and I knew I also needed other things other than just wearing cool T-shirts and hoodies and hats. I knew I needed something different. So it was definitely trial and error. And then once I started communicating with my reps at the time, they kind of pointed me in the right direction.
Yeah.
But I always kept my portfolio and my book how I wanted to be portrayed. I understood the markets and the types of looks that they would go for, but I always try to do my own spin on it, just so that it felt authentic to me. I didn't want to be like the corny, like typical type of, look. I just wanted to do something that felt like, okay, that's Kenan. No one could replace or take away what I could bring to the table.
Absolutely.
So that's how I kind of navigated my portfolio early on, right?
When we think about the industry now and how long we've been in the industry and just sort of our place within the industry.
Yeah.
I would definitely say
I keep getting this coffee is giving me an L right now. Let me just put this down, bro.
It's all good.
It's all good. Go ahead.
When we think about the industry and we think about our place within the industry, I definitely would say that there's probably like how you would say like a Mount Rushmore for models, and then a Mount Rushmore for male models. Especially out here in LA. And I would definitely consider you to be on that Mount Rushmore.
Damn, for real?
Oh, absolutely. I think that there's a Mount Rushmore of like overall in general, male models, and then there's a Mount Rushmore of the guys that are actually working, because there are guys that you see them, on like the one-off huge campaigns, right? And you're just like, oh man, that's big, right? But then you see the other guys like you, where you're in this commercial, this ad, this e-com, this, and to me that is more representative of being on the Mount Rushmore than just the big one-off Gucci campaigns.
That.
You know what I mean?
No, definitely. No,
how would you say you feel you fit within
that? Man, that's an honor. I've never claimed that title for myself. So someone that's my peer, giving me my flowers like that, like, that's like, dang, like you kind of forget, you're always trying to survive out here. You're trying to take care of people you love. And then you kind of forget that, hey, I've done this. And I've always been in this mode, just maybe it's just a cultural thing, but it's always be humble, keep your head down, and just keep working. And sometimes I forget to look up and just to see all the things I've accomplished, because I'm just so focused on who I need to help next month, or what I need to do for me and the people I love, right? So definitely now reflecting on everything I've done in my career with hardly any guidance, just kind of going off of your your character and just
Yeah.
the way you make people feel when you step into a room. And
Yeah.
knowing that I'm just trying to be of service, not really trying to book the job. Like, even if I'm an extra, like, I'd be grateful to, help and be of service and give what I can. And I feel like just that energy alone, they feel that. And that's enough to book the job, because they could smell anyone thirsty from a mile away.
Oh, yeah.
So I just
yeah.
feel like just coming in with that humility, and that's kept me, and just wanting to do favors for others is what's kept me busy. Because the times I've tested with photographers who were trying to update their book,
Yeah.
they ended up shooting their campaign, and then they bring me on.
Yeah.
So if anything, like, all those jobs you see me booking is just a testament from the favors I've done in the past for no bread. And then now you're seeing the fruits of the labor. That's, to me, that's all it really was,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
no ego, not trying to penny pinch, just, like, what can I do for you? And,
Yeah.
I'll do the best I can in that moment with
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
got.
yeah.
And they feel that.
Absolutely. That's huge. Being able to make those deposits right out into the universe or into other people or into other, things that and expecting nothing in return. But then those deposits start accruing interest over time and you don't even know it.
Exactly.
And then you're able to cash out on stuff that you had no intention of even cashing out on in the first place,
Yeah, man.
That's amazing. You're a very humble guy. But on the flip side of that, not being humble would be what? That'd be proud or
arrogant,
or
entitled.
Okay. What I want you to do, what I would love for you to do is to take one moment and shout out one of the biggest jobs that you have done, just as a subtle little flex to, like, you know what I mean? Like, let the people know.
Man, like, big, is it more paying or something that you feel like made me feel fulfilled in my career? Like, because I feel like a check versus, like a job I got to do, to me, because one of my main passions is acting.
Yeah.
So if anything, I'll take any acting job, even if it was for no pay, as something that was really fulfilling. Even though modeling is very fulfilling, it's definitely what pays the bills and keeps me afloat.
Yeah.
And keeps me living my lifestyle so I can continue to pursue my dreams. And I'm very grateful, but definitely some of those travel jobs or those multi-day jobs are just awesome, man.
Give me one where the people would be like, man.
No, definitely. I'll say, shout outs to a few of my friends that I've worked with that are amazing, talented models and just human beings. Michael Gable, do you know Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah, love Michael. And then Ali Courtnall.
Yep.
Now she's married to Ali, she goes by Ali Kendricks.
Yep.
I remember we did this 8-day job for ASICS out in San Francisco.
Okay.
And that was, 8 days of work. And, some of those rates could be
That's
between
huge.
like 3K, 4K a day.
Yeah.
Woo. So imagine 8 days straight.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was a beautiful check. Granted, it took a long time to get that money.
Yeah.
Damn near 90 days. But, man, that job literally set me up financially in a way where, like, growing up, how I grew up, Section 8 housing, single parent, immigrant family, I never seen money like that in my life. So it definitely was life-changing. And that was actually within my first year of moving to LA. So I kind of, in that early on, got a little arrogant. So that's why I'm humble now, is because I learned, like, those jobs are pretty rare.
Yeah.
And then when you book those jobs early, you think, oh, is this how the game is?
Yeah.
You just gonna book like that?
Yeah.
A lot of that comes to your agents being great bookers, the relationships, how you step into the casting room. Because I remember there was a in-person casting. We had to drive to Irvine for that.
Okay.
And then
back before COVID,
yep.
and when we used to do in-person castings all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that job was definitely one of those, like, financially that, like, set me up, where I was able to tap into investments and do little things like that. I helped a lot of people in my family, set myself up. And yeah, that was beautiful. But definitely another job I felt really fulfilled.
Okay.
Was probably, I worked on this TV show, NCIS Hawaii. So that was kind of like my second co-star as an actor, but to me felt like my first true acting role, just because I got a lot of great camera time.
You did. I saw it. It was fire.
Great scene with some of the amazing lead actors on that are doing amazing work. And we filmed that at Aloha Stadium, right before they were gonna tear it down. And growing up, you know, I was such a huge University of Hawaii fan, go Bows. So that was always like a dream to like be out there, play, etc. You know, I have a lot of family in Hawaii, so having those roots and understanding the culture to an extent has really helped me with my career as an actor in that market. Really grateful for the representation they bring for the Asian community, the island community.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, like that job was just one of those full circle moments, just because I remember when we had like I had a PC computer back at my house, and I remember I had the backdrop of that photo of the screensaver was Aloha Stadium when I was a kid. I think from 2006 to 2010, that was like my backdrop on my computer.
Yeah.
You know, back when we had LimeWire, we downloaded music illegally. You know, all that
fighting
stuff.
all those viruses. Yeah.
So that really felt like a true full circle moment. You know, even though one of my main dreams as a kid didn't really get fulfilled, it still kind of brought me somewhere. And you know, that's kind of like a prayer.
Yeah.
Makes me feel emotional, honestly, just because I know the sacrifice. And I remember we filmed that on between the window when my grandmother passed away. So like I remember being out there, and it was literally the death anniversary of my grandmother, like literally a year after. So it was like, wow, that was like you know, they're always working overtime.
Yeah.
So that was just for me, probably one of the most reassuring, fulfilling jobs. Is like, wow, okay, I'm meant to do this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then man, just to be able to be there, be in Hawaii, see some family.
Yeah.
Brought my mom out there, you know, just to celebrate that win with me. That was priceless.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I worked as a local, so I need a little bit out of pocket. These studios don't got the same money as for modeling. But man, fulfilling job.
Absolutely.
You know?
So you've spoken a little bit to who you are and some of the things that you've accomplished. And I'm curious to know, you know, in your mind, who are you becoming?
Man, it's hard because I feel like every day we're a different person sometimes. You know, sometimes you got to throw on a different hat for whatever opportunity you got to do. And I feel like I'm still trying to discover that, even though I feel like I've accomplished a lot. I feel like ever since like I've gone through certain things within my life with my family, you know, certain losses, people you love are no longer here. You kind of look at life more precious. And I feel like every day is an opportunity to be the new best version of yourself. And I try to show up as authentically as I can every day, the best I can with what I got. And sometimes it's, you know, it's taxing because, you know, we're all kind of just ad-libbing through everything.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I may have a plan of who and what I want to become, but sometimes the route makes me have to change, you know, my direction. So it's like every moment I'm just grateful, and I just try to be the best I can be every day in that moment. And I know there's only one me. So it's more like whatever the day calls or whatever I'm called to do, I know I'm just gonna do my best and be my best. Because that's all we can really give, right? Especially if you're living freelance. It's a different type of mindset, right? It's a different level of faith you have to live through. That's why I feel like I try to stay humble as possible, because in any moment, something could happen, right? Like, you know, one opportunity could change your life. You know, I just try to stay me and stay grounded through the process of that, because I've learned early on, you know, you can make a lot of money quick, but that money could also be gone real fast.
Super fast, especially out here,
Exactly, man. So yeah, I just try to be the best I can be myself every day, pretty much.
Speaking more to being a freelancer and the challenges that come along with that, you are someone that, in my eyes, and I'm sure in a lot of people's eyes, whenever they think of Kenan, they think of someone that's always smiling, someone that's always cheerful, someone that's always, whether if you mean to or not, you have this way about you that is just like, it brings joy and it brings fun, and you're just funny. And it's such a beautiful energy to have around. But I'm curious as to how you handle the no's. How do you handle the rejections, especially pursuing your acting career? How do you handle the lulls when jobs aren't coming in and you know the financial strain starts kicking in? Just all the things that aren't necessarily shown on social media, you know, and aren't glorified. How do you handle those moments?
Honestly, I feel like when I'm on like kind of a downward trajectory in things, it's just, to me, it's just momentum to be able to, okay, something's coming. Whenever I feel the lows kick in, it's just, that it's just the downhill momentum to end up going back up, So I feel like when I'm in those spaces, that's when I try to give more. That's when I try to, be a blessing to others, and I try to do more favors just because I know, like, organically it's going to come back around, because I know if I'm struggling, there's other people who are struggling too. And I'm grateful to where I know I've been able to maintain this type of career full-time, freelance, just from my character, my notoriety, and through word of mouth. So whenever I'm in that, that space of struggle, that's when I feel like that's the universe or God challenging you to give. Yeah, so in my mind, it's just a time to lock in on not only yourself, but lock in on your community, check in with people. It's like, hey, what you got going on, man? Is there any way I could help you? I feel like that's what's helped keep me busy. Even if I'm not getting a big check or I'm not getting paid, it's like I'm doing something and that energy is always going to turn into some sort of wealth. It's more like attracting wealth than versus chasing a bag. And attracting wealth is just being of service and, just leading with your heart versus leading with a business mindset.
Yeah.
That business, capitalism, it's kind of a disease that's always going to be there. But it's like, how do you, be the source of wealth that you could help attract for yourself, but also for others, Because if you bring value, imagine like a favor you do for someone coming up. 5 years from now, that favor you did is going to be that bag that's going to pay for your house.
Yeah.
And I've, being in this game long enough, I've seen young photographers who I've done tests with.
Yeah.
And, doing something for free for their book to help them or help them with a small brand they're developing. Because, a lot of people have multiple businesses or they're wearing multiple hats. Now they're shooting the campaign and they're bringing me on.
Yeah.
So I've always just tried to move with that intention.
You've spoken a lot about being of service to others, especially in times when things may not be going your way. And I think that that's such a beautiful trait that you have, and something that isn't taught. It can be tried to be taught, but like, you really know someone's true character, right, when they're at their lowest points.
Yeah.
Now, you being a person that is of service to other people in so many different ways and for so long, after a certain point, you also have to get something for yourself.
Definitely.
What do those things look like? What is it that Kenan needs to sort of maintain his Kenanism?
Man, it's tough because I feel like I grew up not needing much just because I didn't grow up with a wealthy family. And so I was always taught to like appreciate what you have. But I feel like I was always rich in spirit just because, growing up Filipino American, there's a lot of internal battles that we go through within the culture when it comes to mental health. And maybe, I know that sometimes my levels of positivity could come off like too positive, even though sometimes you got to address, okay, there's a problem going on. I can't just smile and laugh through it, but there is going to get to a point where you are going to have to smile and laugh through it.
Absolutely.
So for me, it's like I've had to I know internally, like, things are going to shit right now. But in order to navigate it, I have to approach it with a smile and a laugh so that I could lighten the load for my spirit and then be able to carry that and adjust what needs to be done in that moment. It kind of helps me stay level-headed, but I always try to keep a level of understanding that, okay, things need to be done, things need to change, but I can't dwell too long on the negative or else it's going to consume me and I'm going to be resentful and I'm going to be angry. Just because, I grew up angry when I was young.
Really?
Yeah. Like, all this joy and positivity only comes when there's a certain level of understanding of the only way to move through life to be able to reap the benefits of the work is just looking at it from a positive light perspective. I'm only claiming what I earned, and that's why I feel joyful. Because if I'm receiving something that's I didn't work for, that just fell into my lap, and then when those blessings aren't coming, you're going to be resentful because you think you're entitled to it. So I try to do the work of helping others. So when my blessings come, it's like, I know I earned that. Yep.
Got you.
Like, so I guess that's the best way to how, I see things in this business.
It's funny that you make the comparison between sports and the modeling career or the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
I remember driving one day down Santa Monica Boulevard, and this was before my career was really taking off, right? This was like in the first year and a half or so, and I was struggle busing. And I would see these campaigns with these male models booking for Gap and Old Navy and Walmart and like all these things. And I used to see it, and that athlete mentality kicked in where I was just like, I can do that. Like like put me in, coach, you know what I'm saying? And I think that is something that sort of kept me driven. It was that competitive nature. And I know that you're also a competitor. I mean, you are still actively playing, which is befuddling to me that at our age you are still playing flag football at a high level.
I don't know why. It's just fun, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you have to love it to an extent. And I think the same thing sort of applies to whatever you're pursuing, especially in the entertainment industry. You have to have like a love for it, and you also have a little bit of like a delusional sort of,
Yeah.
How would you say your love is for the industry now? Has it changed since the beginning?
Definitely there's a love-hate relationship.
Okay.
Like just to be honest, we all feel that we deserve more than what we are receiving currently. We all, and I know every model has had or actor has struggled or is currently struggling. Majority of us are struggling, especially more now than ever, just with the state of how things have been since COVID, all these strikes, IATSE, SAG, all that stuff has always been, hurdles for us. And I feel like, just like in sports, man, it's just easy for me to compare it to sports just because that was like my first love. That was my first comparison. Is you got to be able to adjust with the times. Sometimes you got to change up your plan of attack on offense with what's really working. What's the look people like right now. So you got to adjust the playbook to whatever your opponent is. Sometimes our biggest opponent is ourselves because we're so rigid in how we think things should be, and that, I deserve this, like I've done this, that, and the third. But if you're not actively updating your stuff and being competitive in this space, like you're not gonna work. Like if you're not updating your book every couple months, like you're gonna fall behind. There's more models, more actors now more than ever. Literally. And I love that's happening. And it's raising the tide, and it's raising the quality. Now you kind of see from the difference, like who's really them. Not to say those up and comers can't be great, but definitely there's a level of like, you got to pay your dues. You got to do the right kind of networking. You can't be entitled. You have to be kind and generous to everybody on set. It's like, I feel like the era for like supermodels is kind of like dying just
fading
because
away,
like there's not really any male supermodels like that. I could probably name a couple, like Alton Mason. I don't know, Sean O'Pry, he's kind of an OG. But other than some of those cats, I'm sure there's other ones that are amazing. Sorry if I didn't mention your name. You gotta be up to date, you have to be current, and at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily matter who your rep is. It's more so what you bring to the table.
Absolutely.
Like
1000%.
Everyone is obsessed with being with certain agencies. Like that's great if you're with them, but doesn't mean you're gonna be working. Because if anything, sometimes if your book isn't developed and you're with that big agency, it can actually hinder you from getting more work. Because now you're just kind of in the shadow of all these other greats. So just be with who actually believes in you. And match that energy and really show up for yourself, and you got to be your own agent first before you expect anyone to take care of you.
I'm sure you get this question a lot. I know I get it a lot. I'm absolutely
for real, bro.
So I get this question a lot, and I know you get this question a lot. Kenan, I want to be a model. Put me on. Like what? How do I get started? What do I do? What is? I'm sure your response to that varies depending on who's asking you, right? And how much of it is you just give everyone the same response, or is it like if you see potential with someone, you give them like a different response? What's your typical? How do you typically handle those situations?
I always try to be as honest and upfront as possible, and I just try to ask them, because it's one to just be, I want to be a model, but it's like, what kind of model do you want to be? What type of jobs do you want to do? Or, do you want to be an actor as well? Do you want to step into commercials? I always try to get them to think for themselves versus like, I just want my agent to hold my hand through the process, because agents come and go. those relationships will stay if that agent becomes a booker in another agency.
Yeah.
Those are great to have, great, strong relationships with people. But at the end of the day, you kind of have to know who you are and what you want to become, and really, do the work, do the test shoots, do stuff for free. People don't want to do stuff for free. I do stuff for free till this day.
Yeah.
Because I do this because I actually enjoy what I do. I love working with people. I love creating art. I love telling stories. And I feel like if you just come with that spirit, like I'm just eager to learn and eager to grow and be of service, like you'll have a long career.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
in my mind, it's like, just know what it is you want to do, how and what type of jobs you want to do, and make sure you just curate your portfolio to the type of clientele you want to work with. But then obviously, like, find ways to stand out. Do things that's only you would do. And your agent might use those photos. Maybe you could just use that as a post, because I would say a lot of the photo shoots I personally like to curate for myself, my agent doesn't always use.
They don't use. They never do.
It's hardly ever the photos I actually like on myself they ever use. It's always something random. But I still, keep using that because I feel like that's what helps me stand out. And I feel like I'm having my own personal touch versus like I'm just going by like a blueprint, which is great. You can still go by the blueprint, but I like my special sauce personally, and I feel like that's what's kept me busy and booked, just because I'm not copying everybody.
Was there ever a point, because I know for myself when we were still doing in-person castings, that was when it was a lot more prevalent that we all looked the same. We're all showing up wearing the same thing, reading the same scripts, trying to be the same person, right? When did it sort of click for you that you were just like, nah, bump that, I'm gonna be Kenan up in here? And and then that's when you started booking, you know what I mean? Because I know for myself, when I started doing that and I had this epiphany, I was just like, why? It's going to be hard for them to going to be able to pick between me or you or Justin or whoever else if we're all doing the same thing and we're all dressed exactly the same. Like it's just, copy and paste. So then I started being like, you know what, I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I know they said to wear a red tie, I'm going to wear a blue one, or I'm going to, you know what I mean? So when did that sort of click for you? Because I'm sure that there was a turning point in your career where you just started hitting that elevation, and it was just like boop, 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 and you just kept climbing.
No, definitely. I feel like it was different because, I also act as well, and commercial acting and acting on, for the screen is totally different from modeling.
Absolutely.
So I would say when it came to modeling, when I first started, I was trying to step into like the high fashion space, because when I started, I was like 21, 22. I was living in New York. I was like, couch surfing with some friends and relatives as well that lived out there. And, I was just kind of going by the blueprint that my agent at the time was telling me. Wasn't really working any jobs. They only wanted me at the time for like spring, summer fashion weeks, only because of, my ethnicity being brown. And
those don't even pay that much.
They don't. And that was like my first interpretation of what modeling was fashion campaigns. I didn't really know that commercials and sports was a thing at the time. I was just kind of young and naive. I was used to just doing streetwear stuff, and then I was getting scouted on Facebook and MySpace.
Or what was the other one? It was Model Mayhem. Did you ever use that?
Not really, honestly. But if you want to use that, use as many platforms as you want. I'm not gonna tell people like, oh, that website sucks for this, that, and the third. As long as you're actively trying to level up your career, do everything you want. But
also be careful though, because there are a lot of, and I'm sure you've heard this a lot as well, there are a lot of people that will approach you and be like, oh yeah, join this course or join this, our agency, just pay us $500, just pay us, you know what I mean?
That's a scam, honey. Don't do that. No, for real. But I would definitely say after that era when I was in New York, that was 2012, 2013. It was really young. That was kind of like there's social, Instagram was there, but it didn't really, it was still in its baby phase.
Yeah.
So diversity was still very seldom. I'm, Filipino Mexican. So Latinos were very on the low end, unless you're Dominican, Puerto Rican, just because that's what's mostly out in New York. But as a Chicano, Mexican American, and a Filipino American, there was hardly anybody. So people didn't even know what race I was. You know, I'd show up, oh, he's cute, but like, I don't know how we could use him. He's kind of like too ambiguous. And then after I left New York and trying to work out there, I almost quit modeling in general. And then I signed with like a local agency in San Diego, and then eventually got with SOU. Shout out SOU. I loved them to death, RIP.
RIP.
You know what I mean? But man, they really believed in me early on, just because I met this one amazing model, amazing human being, Steph Corgle. She's
Love
one.
Steph,
amazing human being. And also Jane, shout out Jane. They were signed with them at the time, and I did some sports test shoots at the time, because I knew I was trying to get back into modeling, and I knew one of my strengths was sports and fitness.
Yeah.
So at the time I was really in shape, like post-college football, was always in the gym. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, switch it up. And then she was actually my referral to SLU. And then next thing you know, that was kind of like when my life changed. I realized, oh, like, I have a strength. Why am I not capitalizing on my strength? Like, I've been an athlete all my life. You know, I got to use that skill set to the advantage. And also, like, I was a dancer growing up. Like, I was a b-boy, really into b-boy culture, hip-hop culture as a kid. And so I kind of was leveraging the dance and the b-boy culture.
Kenan just does everything, guys. he literally does everything. He's a typical Filipino. Does everything.
Except for singing, I ain't got the singing voice like that.
Except for singing.
And I did, I'm not really good with blood, so I'm not not the nurse.
Not gonna be a nurse.
Type.
Okay.
So other than those two stereotypical things, I am pretty Filipino.
But being so multifaceted, and then saying, earlier on in your career in New York, and how you being ethnically ambiguous sort of played against you, would you say now you've realized that it's kind of your superpower?
Yeah, definitely. It's just like how the times have changed, like trends with looks and people. There's certain things that don't go out of style, but now like that emergence of diversity is so important, and that representation of different types of people kind of really adds to these campaigns. It helps with their numbers. So it's in their best interest to be diverse in the casting. So definitely it turned into a superpower, and understanding my skill set and what I could bring to the table. And a lot of those early campaigns that I did with SLU, from all the different sports stuff to Asics, Adidas, Nike, Under Armour, Brooks, etc. Every brand I've worked with. A lot of that came from those test shoots with those photographers early on, who were trying to develop their books so that they could book with those clients. And then the eight creative agency sees me already in their portfolio. Oh yeah. They see me at the casting. Oh yeah, hire this guy. Like, he could do it. It's no brainer, because certain skill sets you really want to bring the right people on. So that I would say, like, understanding that niche and realizing that there's actually more money in that field of modeling, commercial, sports, fitness than fashion sometimes, depending on the campaign. It's more abundant, especially for minorities at the time. That was kind of like how you really got in. Where diversity, I felt like, really started was through sports. So yeah, really grateful for that lane, and how I didn't give up. I locked in on just things I felt passionate about. And that was always like sports, dance, representing, my Mexican roots, my Filipino roots, in any way I can in my test shoots. And then next thing you know, one of the creative directors is Filipino.
Yeah.
So I always try to represent, my identity in as much work, as possible.
I feel like you're dropping a lot of game. Almost too much game. I feel like
all love, all free, man.
I'm like, we should probably be charging for some of this stuff.
Shoot, man, low key, but hey.
We've hammered home the modeling industry. You are definitely on the Mount Rushmore, at least for me.
I appreciate that.
I want to give you your flowers. I want you to know that I see your hustle. I see your grind all the time. It's super inspiring, and it motivates me to get off my ass and be better. You know what I mean? Every now and then I'll have like a campaign or a shoot here and there, and then I'll take like a week or so off, and then I'll just be like, all right, I earned this. But then I look on my Instagram and I see Kenan is over here, he's over here, and I'm just like, I gotta get back to it.
Story, that's why I don't even post all my work on my actual feed.
I know.
It's just like, to me, it's just, I only like to post the things that make me feel it fulfilled, or like artistically,
Sure.
like I really like this.
Yeah.
Like one of my most recent posts was like a spec job I did for a local brand. And just because the director wanted to shoot on film and he wanted to creatively do something different, I was on board for it, because I know eventually this guy might direct a really dope feature or a really dope short film, and he's gonna bring me on.
Yeah.
You know, not that I'm expecting it, but because I believe in his craft and I believe in the vision, like I'm gonna do what I can to help support that. You know,
I think you're also playing to the law of attraction, right? It's like whatever you sort of put out there into the universe is what you're going to attract or get back.
Exactly.
So, you know, we do have to sort of be peculiar and selective about what we post and, you know, what we leave on our pages specifically, because that's how we're going to be seen in the industry, but then also to other people, right? I think so many people get caught up in posting what they know is going to hit, right?
Yeah.
And I understand playing the game to an extent, but then you sort of get pigeonholed into this, you know what I mean? That's why I don't post a lot of like stuff with my shirt off.
Yeah.
Right? Because if one of those pops off, then I have to keep posting with my shirt off.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I don't want to be the guy that's always with his shirt off.
Exactly.
I want to be known for something else. So no shade to people that, you know, make a living off of that. I mean, you know, OnlyFans, all this, that, and the other, like, all power to
survive,
you.
man.
You know what I'm saying? All power to you. But I know for myself, I want something different. I want something different. Like, you know, when I look back on the entirety of my career, I want to be able to say that I did it my way. You know what I mean? And it wasn't determined by the likes and by, you know, what Jack or Jill said or what anybody else said.
Exactly.
It was what brought me and brought you fulfillment, right? Segueing out of that, I want to ask, what does Kenan do in his free time when he's not out here killing it on the screen, on the big screen?
Oh man, I do all types of stuff. I try to spend as much time with my partner. She's an amazing woman, Sade. Shout out Sade.
Shout out Sade.
You know, she's been a huge blessing to my life. And it's just one of those things where, especially in the craft of storytelling, she's such an amazing human being when it comes to, you know, what it takes to craft an image. You know, she's an amazing DP. And I've paid more attention to storytelling and filmmaking, and it's helped me with my art and my craft, you know. So definitely I love watching movies. I also write, so I'm working on a bunch of different scripts, you know, short films, feature scripts, you know, vertical stuff. Just, you know, at the end of the day, you just got to keep wearing different hats and just try to work and help be of service to people. Love to also collaborate with other filmmakers in any sense. So definitely I've been segueing more of my energy, creative energy, into filmmaking.
Okay.
Also, I love to make music. That's just like a hobby. I've been like a hip hop nerd since I was a kid, you know, grew up in the b-boy culture. Naturally, like rap culture is a part of that, you know, graffiti, all that stuff. So yeah, I've been really into that. I grew up like a skater too. Don't really like skate anymore, but I definitely like enjoy just the culture of hip hop as a whole, and just the different elements and the different things people do within it. So yeah,
what's one of your go-to things when you're really like you need a moment of just peace?
Man, honestly, it's flag football, bro. Like
Really?
playing sports.
Okay.
Like a lot of people bicker and argue on the field, but I'm the type of person, like when I'm out there, I'm just so happy.
Love that.
And then I'm always like encouraging, even the other team, they score and I was like, man, that was a good touchdown, bro.
you
really
are
bossed me
that guy.
play.
You are that guy.
You know, like, dang, man, you know. So in my mind, like, that's just where I could just be a kid and play. And not, you know, people like to get competitive.
Yeah.
Some people have like a broken inner child, you know. You know, when they're out there on the field, they just want to win. Like, I don't really care if we win or not. Like, yeah, we want to win and do well, but at the end of the day, all I care about is like, I didn't get hurt. You know,
Facts.
Okay, good. That's a win.
Facts.
And then, you know, was it a good competitive game?
Yeah.
Bet. Like, and did I give my best effort where I was able to contribute for my team? And, you know, whether it was a lot of catches or I'm getting my guy open, or, you know, if I'm playing basketball, I'm, you know, locking up on defense, throwing screens, you know, hustling on the fast break. Like, that's where I get joy, just kind of being in team environments. That's kind of where I have, you know, a level of peace, honestly.
Love
like
that,
sports, and then obviously like storytelling when it comes to like working on those scripts and those stories and those dreams of, making a movie, or like even just locking myself in a room and trying to write a 16 just to get, it's like, to me, like rap music is like journaling, so to me, that's just a way to like declutter my mind.
Yeah.
And then when I get inspired, or if I'm feeling like, melancholy, I'll get into that mode of like trying to write out my feelings. And then, whenever like I record that track, that's probably for me, I might not post it, it's just for me.
Yeah.
That's when I kind of feel that release.
Yeah.
And then if I get enough courage to put it out there, then I'll drop something, but it's nothing where like I'm trying to be the next Eminem or Nas, even though I'm inspired by those cats.
Yeah.
It's like, that's just one of my hobbies that keep me level-headed and keep me positive.
And it's just for you.
It's just for me, and wherever that takes me, great. But I feel like it's helped me with my art and storytelling. It's helped me with just my communication skills.
Yeah.
And it's just helped me. A lot of my favorite actors are rappers. Like Tupac was an amazing actor. Mos Def was an amazing actor. Ice Cube, Common. Yeah. So I've always felt like the more I dabble with words and storytelling and feeling and intention, like it helps with my craft.
You feel like you're honing your craft. Absolutely.
Yeah, even in commercials, it kind of goes hand in hand in a sense. Like I'm just trying to hit a mark, evoke something, make people connect.
Yeah.
So those are just kind of like things I do that help me, stay level-headed, and I'm doing something positive with my mental, and it's helping me with my craft, and keeping me a good person.
Love that.
Yeah.
All right. Two more things. First off, give me either like a funny or a ridiculous or an absurd or just a crazy story from a job.
Oh man. I got so many, bro. I'll give two.
Okay,
because one is more modeling, the other one's acting.
Okay, let's
I'm gonna start with the acting one. I remember I had my first ever co-star back in like 2018, 2019, I think. It was on this TV show called Animal Kingdom. It's on Netflix, you go watch it.
Yeah.
I remember I did this scene with Jake Weary, I think. That was like one of the lead actors on the show. And it was like a simple scene, only like 3-4 lines. It's pretty much just saying, "Hey, bro, good to see you, man. Where you been?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. Good to see you. I'll catch you later." That's literally like the vibe of the scene. That day we were really behind. We were shooting at Trestles out in San Clemente, like southern OC, between San Diego OC. Really behind all day. So we were the last shot of the day, and the sun was setting. We only had like probably 45 minutes to shoot, so they had to cut another scene just to get to my scene.
Yeah.
Didn't really have time to light it, so it's funny because when you see me, I'm like more silhouetted because I'm like backlit.
Okay.
And I remember just the intensity of like the crew's like, "Oh, we're behind, we gotta go.
Yeah.
And then when I went to rehearse, no offense, Jake, I love you, but he didn't know his lines at the time. But a lot of these TV actors don't. They're so good and talented, they could just show up on the day and they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And so as we're trying to get to our location, we only had 30 minutes to shoot the scene. And so they didn't really get a lot of coverage for me. So they tried to shoot most of it in the wide. They didn't have time for a close-up of me.
Okay.
So they only had like a wide shot to establish and then just a close-up of him.
Oh, okay.
And then so when we got to location, we started rolling. I remember the first take, I was just overthinking because, I'm saying what's up to him, that I'm running down to the beach. I had my leash already on my ankle because I thought, okay, maybe I should just do that. I was already thinking like, I was overthinking, I'm a surfer, I'm about to go surf. I should have my leash already on. And then the first take, we do the scene. Good to catch you, bro. I take like 3 steps and I fall. I stumble and embarrass myself. And then, I just get up fast and then I stumble, I try to get up real fast, and I just run over to the beach, and then everyone starts laughing.
Yeah. Mind
you, this is my first time on set acting for a co-star.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit. Okay, let's restart that. I took off the leash, tied it on my board, and then we ended up doing the scene like 2-3 more times.
Yeah.
We killed it. It was fine.
Okay.
But I just remember like my first time on set, it kind of reminded me like, man, like don't overthink, stay calm, even though everyone is freaking out. Like, just do your job. Don't worry about how everyone else
Everybody
is
else
feeling.
is exactly, yeah.
You know, like, that's what I learned. Like, as an actor, you got to be calm on set. Even if your scene's intense, you got to be as level-headed and present as possible, and you got to look out for yourself and don't overthink stuff. Things
Yeah.
are very simple. They cheat everything on screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like something I learned in that process. And okay,
That's a good one.
Yeah, right.
That's a good one.
Number 2, I remember we did a job for Saucony.
Okay.
Okay, and it was like another great job, like 3-4 days. Okay, Bay Area again, San Francisco. We
Okay.
were shooting out there. And then, man, you already know the stories in the Bay Area, you know. People be bipping and dipping, bro. So that happened to us twice on the last day. Oh my God, I felt so bad. Like, shout out to my old roommate, Craig Ham. He was there with me. I don't know if his stuff got recovered.
Yeah.
And then even the crew, they got their laptops, some cameras stolen. And the only people who didn't get jacked were me and the other Mexican photographer. Because we're like, bro, we're telling him, hey, I don't think you guys should leave stuff in the car. They're like, we'll be fine. It's just going to be like 15 minutes. We're just going to pull in, take some shots, and then go.
Not
okay,
SF,
cool.
nah.
Yeah, and then they know, like, if you got a rental car, you know,
Oh, they
that's
know
the first
that's
thing
the
they're
target.
looking-
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
target.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, me and his stuff didn't get jacked, but yeah, we got cleaned out. That, you know, literally, that was like the first shot of the day.
Dang.
So we're like, is the shoot canceled? We're like, oh no, we still have our memory card and camera on us right now. They already offloaded the extra footage on a hard drive that they had with them.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, we just lost the camera stuff. I mean, the laptop
But
stuff.
still,
and some
that's
rental
rough.
equipment. Okay,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And then it happened again at the rap dinner. Like, okay, we wrapped up. We were there for like 30 minutes. They parked in the parking lot of the restaurant.
No.
Where it was valeted.
No.
And it still got jacked. We're like, what the heck? And then again, we told them, hey, I don't think you should leave your stuff in the car.
he said we told him again.
I told him again. And who didn't get jacked? Me and the other Mexican homie. Of course, because we knew, like, bro, you know, it's just, I have family in the Bay, you know, Shouts Bay area. You know what I mean?
So you know what it is when you
pull
up.
So you just gotta be careful, bro. People be struggling out there.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, it was just crazy, man. The fact that it happened twice in the same day. Oh my God.
He said we told him again.
Yeah. It's just crazy. Like, people be opportunists, because when the valet guy saw it happen, and it was people who were in the restaurant. It was like a casual thing. Like,
wow.
They were leaving the restaurant, and then I guess on the way out they saw. So the car was already there, and then they just like broke the back window, grabbed the backpack at the back, and just
and valet
drove off.
homie ain't do nothing.
And the valet didn't even do nothing, man.
That's wild.
So yeah, those are like the 2 stories, bro.
That's
You
wild.
know?
Those are good ones.
Yeah, man. Just
Those are
you know,
good ones,
like you know, I tried to keep it. You know, there's other stories, but those are things that stick out, right?
Yeah. We don't want to call anybody out today.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Not today, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
This was much needed for me. I found that just like you, when you find peace with playing sports and connecting with others, I'm finding that me connecting with people that matter in my life is more important than I realized, especially the older that I get. And being able to sit down with you is truly just a blessing. It really is. I'm going to ask you for one more thing before we go. Okay. What is one piece of advice that you would give to anybody, whether if it's someone trying to be a model or an actor, whether if it's someone that is going through a low right now and just sort of needs, words of encouragement? What is something that you live by or would say to someone just in need of a word?
Man, I feel like it's one of those things where you always got to ask yourself, what is your why? And you have to make sure that your why outweighs money, prestige, clout, or like worldly things. And if your why outweighs all those worldly things and those surface level desires, then you will have a good career. You will have a longevity. And you have to really ask yourself, like, why do I want to step into this field? Because it's more competitive now than ever. Like, I'm grateful, as millennials, we came in at a time where we had to struggle early. And then we had a generational run You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's not like that for everybody,
Yeah.
you know? Like we had years where we made life-changing money.
Mm-hmm.
And then we made a life-changing portfolio growth that
Yeah.
that is setting us up now.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, like, you know, you before you decide to go all in on this industry, you really got to ask yourself why you want to do this. And if you have a deep spiritual reason that's going to allow you to navigate through these lows, because there's going to be some months you may be eating top ramen and PB&J.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you fully choose to go freelance.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's one of those things where, you know, ask yourself that before you decide to step into this freelance artist life, because
Yeah.
it's really not for the weak, man.
Yeah.
Like, a part of me wishes I finished school and I had a backup plan, but at the same time, I'm also grateful that the universe blessed me with this type of, you know, this identity, this charisma, this skin, you know, this mindset, because I feel like the only way to really navigate this business is to have like that level of delusion and faith, so that you could wake up every day feeling blessed, even when your bank account might be low. You may have a little bit of debt.
Yeah.
You know, you may not know when your next gig is, you know, but having that level of faith and that heart of, I want to be able to be of service regardless of how full my bank account is what's going to keep you busy,
Yeah.
booked, and keep you blessed, man.
Yeah. Love
So
that.
yeah, bro.
Love that.
So yeah, just ask yourself why first. Like,
Yeah.
that's what's gonna make you know if this is what you're meant for, bro. Like,
Absolutely.
because of course I could say the typical, oh, just don't give up.
Yeah.
You know, oh,
Yeah.
just keep trying.
Yeah.
Just pray. Just you know, but it's more than that, man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
prayers
yeah.
without action is meaningless.
Absolutely.
You know, like the only way you're gonna get that blessing is if you put action on top of that prayer.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, bro. Like, yeah, that for me, that's it. Ask yourself why first.
Love
What's
that.
your why?
Love that.
Hell
I
yeah.
appreciate you, my guy.
Ooh,
It's all
my
love.
brother,
All
for
love.
real,
Man,
Always
this was
love.
too good. This was
For
too
real,
good.
man. We just trying to drop gems, you know.
You know.
Spread love, spread positivity, spread
Exactly.
knowledge.
Exactly.
You know. Yeah, man.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.